Hey, this is Tom and welcome to the Value Investor, and today we're talking about Nikola. Did I change my mind about Nikola after all this time, given the incredible results we're seeing in the market right now? Stay with me and you're going to find out. So Nikola just had their Analyst Day yesterday. Stock is up 16%. Everybody's happy. They're saying they're going to put out 300 to 500 BEV trucks, which means battery electric vehicle trucks. And JP Morgan actually gave them a very nice pat on the back, giving them a $10 target price with what they said was high customer interest in Nikola's BEVs and fuel cell electric vehicle trucks, which is very interesting. Now, the company did point out that the gross margin on these 300 to 500 trucks they're going to put out this year are going to be negative 75%, give or take a few percentage points. So given my history with Nikola, which goes back all the way to 2020, where I basically said that the company is no bueno at $70, at $60, at $50, at $50, and so forth and so forth. So the question, did they turn this around? Did Sandy's approval, and given what just happened yesterday, makes me a believer now in Nikola? Well, in this video, I'm going to give you a reality check. Let's do this. So the first thing we have to admit is that Nikola is still one of the biggest losers in the EV category to date. Now, maybe that changes, but so far, that has been the case. Now, that's even being generous to Nikola, because in fact, they're not really even in the category. If you ignore the truck they rolled down the hill in 2020, they haven't put out any trucks out there. Where are they? Now, maybe this year they're going to do something special. Maybe they roll a truck faster to show off the acceleration of this new truck. I don't know. But so far, they haven't showed me anything. All they did is they slapped a battery on an existing Iveco truck, rebranded it as Nikola Tre, and now they're trying to push it as some golden nugget. Where is the Nikola 1? Where is the Nikola 2? Where is the fuel cell electric vehicles we've been hearing about? Where's the Badger? Where's the ATV, the snow machine? Where are all those vehicles? We haven't heard about them ever since Trevor made this really beautiful presentation. Now, not to mention even the fact that battery-powered trucks are no bueno. Nobody in the industry wants them. It's extra weight, it's extra charging time, and it makes no sense. Now, fuel cell electric trucks actually can make sense in the future if you can actually produce hydrogen for cheap, and if you can build an infrastructure, and if you can produce trucks that actually go the distance, and if grandma had wheels, she would be a bicycle. Because think about it, unlike a four-door sedan in a truck, every minute the truck is idle and charging, it's a waste of time. The battery takes up space instead of cargo. It adds weight. It makes no sense. Unless, of course, you're Nikola. In that case, that makes a lot of sense, but they said a lot of things made sense where clearly they weren't. And even the math doesn't really add up. If you want to pay $4 billion in market cap for a company that may produce a few hundred trucks this year, I got some blinker fluid to sell to you, or maybe some electricity powder. There's a lot of negotiating we can do here. I can sell you a lot of good stuff. $4 billion for a pre-revenue company? Are you out of your mind? And of course, we have to add one more reality check. JP Morgan gave them a pat on the back. They gave them a neutral $10 price target. Now, JP Morgan told you last year, in fact on March 2021, that this is a $30 stock. Now, at least, in their credit, they didn't tell you it's a $55 stock. No, that they did 1 year earlier on June 2020 when Paul Koster gave this thing a buy at $55. Now, whatever JP Morgan has to say about this stock doesn't carry a lot of weight for me because they screwed up so much, it actually means more to me what my dog says about Nikola than JP Morgan at this point. Now, you don't have to take my or my dog's word for it. Go to TipRanks.com and check out Paul Koster's history because Paul Koster is also tracked on TipRanks. Go to his profile, click on Nikola, and see how many predictions he made, including the one he made in June 2020, giving it a buy at $55. In fact, on TipRanks, you can actually click on the whole article showing you his buy recommendation and the rationale. Go check it out right now. Another way to show you how TipRanks actually adds accountability to these bozos. It's very important to hold them accountable because you're going to hear it every step of the way. Forget about Tesla. This is the new hype. We heard it so many times before. Go check these analysts' performance before you make any sort of investment decisions, including myself. Of course, this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just sharing with you my opinion, which might be inaccurate, might be wrong, might be ranks of a madman. But if you want to look at the JP Morgan analyst and what he says about Nikola, go back and look at his past on tipranks.com. and you'll find a lot of cool surprises. Now, the question is this a real turnaround story? Did they take this pump and dump by Trevor and they actually made it into a real company? Well, first of all, look, the timeline for the actual trucks everybody cares about, the fuel cell trucks, the hydrogen trucks, nobody knows. Maybe the middle of next year, maybe. Nobody really knows. What about the fact that this is a pre-revenue company? They haven't made any money. Their margins are abysmal. They're pre-ramp up. You can ask Elon how tough it is to ramp up a business that actually makes vehicles, let alone trucks. And speaking about cash and capex, the company doesn't have enough of it. They're running out of cash by the end of this year. In 2023, they need a few more billion to keep this thing going. Not to mention the fact that the cost structure don't make no sense. They need to produce hydrogen, they need to store it, they need to liquefy, and they need to distribute it at a reasonable price. None of this is still applicable, let alone the structure of the infrastructure, which is non-existent. Who's going to build all that? I mean, this is like 5, 6, 7, 10 years ahead. This is nowhere near to being real. And not to mention the fact that the new management of Nikola is pretty much the old management. Go check out who was the CEO and who is now the CEO. When Trevor left, the CEO stayed. Now, I'm not saying that the CEO did a bad job. In fact, I think he does. And what he's doing with the Nikola Tre actually makes some sense as far as creating some revenue, putting some money in the cash register before you make these outlandish claims. That's the best you can do in this, situation. He's trying to make lemonade out of lemons. Good for him. But he was there with Trevor all along. So I don't think you can say that this is new management. They still hold a lot of responsibility, and I still have a lot of doubts until they prove otherwise. Not to mention the fact that Nikola is still in the midst of litigation. It's not just Trevor. Remember Trevor Milton and his DOJ stuff? Well, Nikola is potentially getting sued in multiple class action lawsuits for their part in it. So nobody knows exactly what's going to happen with that and the cash flow implications. Now, for me, this is astonishing that I still need to talk about how this company basically makes no sense as an investment. But hey, if you think that this is a good investment for you, go right ahead. Just make sure you talk to a professional and ask him about this company before you make any decisions. And as always, if you want to comment on this video and hang out with me and the TipRanks crew, head on over to TipRanks TV. We're going to be there commenting on this video, chatting with you, hanging out with you. It's going to be a blast. Come check it out. It's really cool platform. I absolutely love it. I'll see you there. And if you always wanted to sign up for TipRanks but always wanted the discount, this week is exactly what you need. The description is going to have a link. You can sign up for TipRanks at a massive discount. I think it's going to be applicable by the end of this week. All the details are below. Check it out, and I'll see you on TipRanks TV real soon.